Welcome to the second episode of Not Business as Usual. Singapore's aging population is swelling so quickly, we're now ranked among the fastest in the world. Currently, for each Singaporean aged 65 and above, we have 6 citizens in the working age of 20 to 64 years. By 2030, this ratio will drop drastically to 1:2. It's no longer business as usual. Companies have to recognize that older workers are our precious human resource. This pool of workers has a wealth of experience to share. Many are also not afraid of new challenges, like the feisty lady we're going to meet. In 2008, Sharifa Rahman was caught in a situation most of us fear. She had to make a career switch at the age of 50. An age employers would consider an older worker. At that time, Sharifa had just returned to Singapore after helping her husband in his business overseas. She had also quit her customer service job at the airport 14 years ago. Not wanting to idle her time away, Sharifa decided to plunge into a new field as a tour leader when she chanced upon a recruitment advertisement.
Frankly speaking, I love travels. Then I meet a lot of people, and also when I walk here and there, I run to the bus, a range of the students, a range of the guides and all that can make me healthy.
To turn her love for travel into a profession, Sharifa had to learn the ropes from scratch.
Sharifa had to undergo a lot of training simply because our industry is a very niche. We were focusing a lot on corporate and education. So we wanted her to be sure of what she was doing. So we have a policy, company policy, that we need to put our staffs on 160 hours of training before they are left on the field.
Older workers like Sharifa may be ready to unlearn, relearn and learn new skills. But the perception that age is a barrier to learning is still deeply ingrained in the minds of some employers. In 2013, the Tripartite Alliance for Fair and Progressive Employment Practices, or TAFEP in short, conducted an online survey on the value of mature workers to organizations in Singapore. The study showed 4 in 10 HR professionals and senior decision makers from a wide range of organizations agree or strongly agree that older workers are slow to learn new things. On the contrary, Raj Kumar believes training Sharifa has yielded good returns on his investment.
She was really fast in learning, and believe me or not, she was one of the batches that finished the training much faster than the rest of the staffs, because normally the staffs would be put as a group training. She was very fast, she was beyond our expectation, and she even gave confidence to the rest of the staff during the training.
Sharifa's experience and skills were often put to the test. On one occasion, she encountered a medical emergency.
The tour is smooth, but when we go at the village, these students, they go and eat at the roadside food. Then after that, when arrived at the hotel, one by one vomited, diarrhea, they have food poisoning. This is really, really stressful because how I'm going to get ambulance from Aitam to Singapore.
Thinking quickly, Sharifa hired a separate vehicle to ferry the affected students back to Singapore. It is this ability to solve problems under pressure that have led employers like Raj Kumar to hire older workers. And he's not the only one thinking that way. In TAFEP's 2013 online survey, 7 in 10 companies believe older workers have better problem-solving skills. At IPC Tours and Travels, Sharifa's maturity has proven to be an asset.
She is a person who is very confident in handling problems. She's very tactful in how she tackles problem. Well, these are the things that one may not learn in a classroom. I think every of the older worker has an ability in them. Employees like us, our responsibility to tap their inner potential.
Another benefit of hiring older workers is the transfer of experience and knowledge through mentorship. When Sharifa is not out managing tours, she takes on the role of a mentor, guiding younger employees like fresh graduate Jamie Cheong.
She's my first mentor. She has been a very, very good one. She teaches me a lot of things that I cannot learn from classroom, things like problem solving on the spot.
The company's mentorship scheme has also helped to build good intergenerational relationships. While hiring older workers has its benefits, companies do need to realize that older workers have specific needs as well.
Did you have to tweak company policies to accommodate older workers like her?
Yes, we had to. Being an older worker, we gave her the flexibility in working hours, because at times that she needs to visit the doctors for her medical checkups, and also even in her contract, employment contract, we have extension clauses for her. So she doesn't need to feel worried if her job is going to be secured after the retirement age. So we give her the freedom to work even she has retired.
The employment of older workers, like in any human relationship, requires fair exchanges. While employers can create opportunities for older workers, employees too have to remain employable by upgrading their skills and staying relevant.
Skill upgrading is very important because we see a rapid increase of technology change. And you will find industries or, for example, retail services where what is expected from a retail salesperson will dramatically change. They need to operate very sophisticated cashier systems. They need to also explain complicated products. They are competing with the internet. Customers come much better prepared when they want to buy something. So they need to not just sell a product that they are reasonably trained on, but they need to be really prepared.
It takes courage to change, be it a change in mindset or moving out of one's comfort zone. Change can unleash many possibilities that could benefit both the employer and the employee, just like the case of Raj Kumar and Sharifa. After the break, find out how a startup leverages the experience and connections of older workers. Many of us dream of retiring early so that we can enjoy a leisurely life. But the big switch may have an unexpected effect. We may be thrown into a state of restlessness. So what happens when we want to continue to contribute in the workforce? And how can employers benefit from hiring retirees?
61-year-old Tan Chin Hui wants to be in control. The former regional financial controller of a multinational doesn't believe in sudden changes, and he applied the same principle when planning his retirement.
I always think that retirement should be a gradual process. So I have decided at that time that I would not just stop and quit at age 60, but to slowly wind down so that the change from working life to retirement life is not so sudden.
In order to gradually ease into retirement, Chin Hui started taking courses at the Singapore Institute of Directors. He was hoping that the training could parachute him into the boardroom of companies. Having been a senior manager in various industries for more than 30 years, Chin Hui was eager to share his experience. But things did not turn out as planned.
I found the scenario a bit different, that actually to be a board member require more than just technical expertise, that you also require connections. So I find the opportunities are a bit hard to come by. So and then I switch on to look for part-time employment in various organizations.
Chin Hui's persistence paid off. He found a part-time job through the help of Silver Spring, a social enterprise that helps seniors reconnect with the workforce. It was a win-win situation for both Chin Hui and Newton Circus, the technology startup that gave him the opportunity.
To have Mr. Tan by my side in discussions with different stakeholders, there's a reassurance there that this individual that's operated in many different fields, many different businesses and experiences over the years, gets it and understands it and is here supporting and working with such a dynamic business. For me, it's not about age, it's really about experience and the right mix of capabilities. So in the young, there's often enthusiasm, optimism, but also a lot of naivety and sort of lack of real life experiences.
For Chin Hui, the slower pace of part-time work is a welcome change from the stresses of working in an MNC.
I think in the past, having a full-time job it restricts me to do traveling as and when I choose to. But with a part-time arrangement, I can go on short trips or even long trips.
Before Chin Hui was recruited, the average age of the employees at Newton Circus was 30. While the younger team members are talented and enthusiastic, none could match Chin Hui's experience. The flatter corporate structure of a startup encourages these younger employees to work together with older workers like Chin Hui. But is mixing the young and old a recipe for disaster? In TAFEP's survey, more than half of the HR professionals and senior decision makers cited younger managers as having difficulties managing older workers.
Managing a multi-generational workforce does not present any challenges. The challenge is to create an environment where all individuals in your team respect and value and actually understand each other's contributions.
In Newton Circus, I'm the oldest person in the office. I sense their enthusiasm, their energy level. It's a refreshing change from what I'm used to in the past, where my colleagues are more or less of the same age group or slightly younger. I always feel that aging is a mental thing. So the best way to approach aging is not to feel that you're getting old day by day and just go about doing the things that you're normally doing.
While most of the companies in TAFEP's online survey felt that older workers are less adaptable to technology, Daryl sees great potential in linking the two. The technology company is developing a smartphone application targeted at the older generation. And Chin Hui is providing valuable insights as a potential user.
It's wrong that old people and technology do not mix. Older adults, look at technology maybe in a different way. They have different ideas about how it can be used to support their lives. And actually, if you can tap those insights and put that technology into their hands, it presents incredible business opportunities and partnerships. And Mr. Tan has been very helpful in the development of our own business.
Besides Newton Circus, more businesses are recognizing the benefits older workers can offer. The Labour Force 2014 survey conducted by Singapore's Ministry of Manpower showed that the participation rate of older residents had risen further. Those aged 55 to 64 reached 66.3%, about 1% higher than 2013. Despite the increase in the number of older workers hired, there is still room for improvement. In the first half of 2014, 1 in 5 complaints received by TAFEP were age-related.
This is exactly what we are currently addressing and that we are tackling, so that both workers and employers can understand the advantages. So what are the advantages? Of course, elder workers have experience. So the question is, how do we channel this experience in a company and how do we make sure that the experience is really put back to market? So people can engage in mentorship programs, elder workers can become trainers, they can become people who survey the work of younger workers and to make sure that they can continuously bring their knowledge to the relevant place in the respective company.
Prejudices are not easy to overcome, but with proper education and supportive schemes, more businesses in Singapore would recognize the value of older workers in time to come. Stay tuned to find out how one company has busted the myths of older workers by hiring and rehiring them. For each resignation or retirement of an older employee, a company loses years of valuable knowledge, skills, and experience. In short, it's a brain drain. Let's meet a company which has saved on training costs by hiring and rehiring older workers.
As an engine maker, MAN Diesel and Turbo Singapore relies heavily on its engineers' skills and knowledge. Whenever an older worker retires, the company has to spend substantial time and money hiring new workers and training them. Necessity is the mother of invention. MAN Diesel and Turbo Singapore found a smart solution: get older workers to train younger ones. One such older worker is 66-year-old Yap Chi Siong, who has been with the company for over 30 years.
I overlook this overhaul section, repair section. At the same time, new assembly engine with the new engines, and QC, that means do the quality control, and at the same time, do training for our young engineers.
About a third of the company's workforce is aged 50 and above. They are deployed in various capacities from office work to engineering. 65-year-old Richard Xia was working in China for 25 years. When he was retired by his previous employer, MAN Diesel and Turbo Singapore snapped him up because of his specialist knowledge.
We took him on and put him to set up this department, the Institute Machining. This is where he needs to do all the measurements and calibration. This kind of skill set is not easily found.
The wealth of experience from older workers comes in handy whenever there are engine breakdowns. In one such incident, Richard successfully completed a job on a moving ship while under time pressure.
上船的时候检查好了，大概要4、5天的工作。我跟船东讲，船东说不行，我们的船没有船期，也不可以停留在新加坡。我的要求就是你要跟船，把这个工作完成。我就没办法，也要跟着这个船，把这个工作任务完成。
With their extensive experience in engines, older workers in MAN Diesel and Turbo Singapore are highly prized as mentors. They're also able to pave the way for young talents to fit into the company's succession plan.
For all these older workers, they are able to help us in the workforce renewal in a sense that they can transfer their skills, their knowledge, and also to share their network with the younger workers.
For younger engineers like Ko Tian Guan, learning hands-on experience from their seniors is no less important than classroom theories.
I remember there was once that I have to do an overall spare part list for the engine. I have to go to Mr. Yap, for example, to seek his permission or his help on regards to certain bearings, because in school we only understand about bearings, but over here with his experience he tells me which to order and which not to.
Older workers too are benefiting from the intergenerational workplace.
When our company introduced computers, we the senior had to learn computers from the younger engineers because they are well versed. Initially, I also don't know how to start the computers.
In recognizing the contributions of older workers, MAN Diesel and Turbo Singapore has tailored its human resource policies to extend their services. Employees who turn 62 are offered contracts that are renewable yearly. This is based on their personal performance and upon being medically certified fit to work by the doctor. Their salary and benefits will remain unchanged as long as there's no change in working hours or job scope. Older workers are also given the option of having flexible working hours on a case-by-case basis. Finally, older workers are offered customized medical insurance. But insuring these older workers can be tricky. Some policies have maximum age limits. Insurance companies are also unwilling to cover pre-existing medical conditions.
Although the cost of the premium can be very high, but yet we are willing to cover for all these older employees, even with some of the loadings and exclusions, because we find that the returns from the older employees are much higher than the cost of the healthcare.
While the benefits for businesses are clear, what does the older worker gain from continued employment?
People who have a satisfactory work environment are happy people, they are content people, they are also very good role models. So these are values that go much beyond the pure financial consideration, which of course we all have to have because we need to make money to provide. But it is also a benefit for society if we have Singaporeans who are both happy in their workplace, and if we have very competitive Singaporean companies who can compete with a local workforce in international markets.
We've seen how the expertise and experience of the silver generation can be tapped to fix the brain drain challenge in 3 companies. Older workers who are actively engaged in the workforce also gain a sense of purpose and independence. Join me next week for the last episode of Not Business as Usual. We'll take a look at how putting in place fair and progressive employment practices and having a diverse pool of talents can encourage creativity and raise productivity. See you then.